Hello everyone, I'm Woman International Master Knarik and I'm using the chesswithknarik.com website to record this video. In this video, we're going to see a position where, again, we simplify the pieces to reach an endgame that's favorable for us. Let's compare this position. What's happening here? We both have queens. White has a queen and black has a queen. While what's different in the position is that black has a rook and white has a bishop and a pawn. Now, this can be dangerous because right now the black rook is also attacking our queen. If our queen moves away, black can attack our king because our king is exposed. Also, the black king is exposed as well. But in such a position where let's say our opponent is attacking with a rook and a queen, maybe the most that white can hope for is a draw because let's say maybe white can try to do many checks or can try to draw in that way. But definitely winning is not going to be easy if we keep all these pieces on the chessboard, because an attack with the rook and the queen is going to be very dangerous for our king. So the maximum that can be done by white if the pieces are staying is a draw. Okay, so if we want to win, we need to find another way. Now, what can we do here? We can take advantage of something that we can notice, something special that we can notice in this position. It's that all the black pieces are on the A1 H8 diagonal, and the A1 H8 diagonal is a diagonal with dark squares, which means that it's something good that we have a bishop that moves on dark squares. But how can we take advantage of that? Okay, if all the pieces are on the dark square diagonal, then maybe I can skewer all of them by playing bishop to c3. But let's see, what does that do? I am skewering all the black pieces, but here black was already attacking our queen. So if black simply captures our queen, yes, we will be able to capture the black queen with a check, but then okay, this endgame is going to be very easy for black to win because, okay, already on the next turn, black can simply capture our pawn, and definitely this is winning for black. So going back, we need to try to take advantage of this fact that all the black pieces are on the same diagonal. But right now, it's not gonna, right now, if we play bishop to c3, it's not gonna work. So we need to use this in a different way. But how? Let's see. What about we change the piece in the front of the skewer or the pin? Let's say, what if I capture the rook that's on d4? I just capture the rook. So right now I have an extra bishop and a pawn. So that's a very good reason for black to capture. Plus, it's not like black can avoid trading queens, let's say, because there's a pin that the queen is pinned, and black cannot just move away and keep the queen, or maybe try to do many checks. They cannot do that. So it's like there's no avoiding this. Black must capture back. And here, what can we play? After we change the piece that's in the front of the skewer or the pin, now we can do our pin. And what will happen here? The queen, of course, cannot move away because it's pinned to the king. That's an absolute pin. And what else can black play? What if black captures our bishop so that, okay, because anyways they're losing their queen, they're gonna capture our bishop and give up their queen and decide to play this endgame. Now, maybe black can hope that with just this one pawn they can defend and we won't be able to win. But let's see if it's possible. Now, let's just do a fast recap of when does white win with this extra pawn. White wins with this extra pawn if our king is able to occupy one of the key squares of this passed pawn. And the key squares, we said we find it, we look 2 ranks ahead of the white pawn and the 2 squares that are right next to those. So if the white king is able to reach on one of these squares, then definitely we will be able to promote. And let's see if that's going to be possible. So the black king is going to get closer, of course, trying to avoid that we get our king to one of the key squares. They're going to try to block our way, and they will keep on getting closer. The fastest way possible is definitely taking this route here diagonally. And now it is white's turn and what to play. Let's see, if we push the pawn, we're not doing ourselves any favor, because now the key squares have been moved even ahead, and the black king will never allow us to move there. Actually, the black king is gonna stay on, let's say d6, c6, and not allow our king to get there. So going back, we're definitely not pushing our pawn, but our aim, our target, is to get to one of these key squares with our king. So if we can't push the pawn, what else can we do? Okay, so maybe we might say that some of us know about taking the opposition and would like to take the opposition here. But again, that's not serving our purpose. We want to get to one of the key squares. Now, it's not the time to take the opposition. Okay, so we need to understand each position. Yes, it's true. In general, in pawn endgames, it's good for us to take the opposition. But in this specific one, it is winning for us if we get to one of the key squares. So we're not going to take the opposition here because it is just not serving the purpose, and black again is going to stay on, let's say, either d5, c5, and not allow us to get to one of those squares. And we won't be able to win this. It's definitely going to end in a draw. So it means that here our move is going to be king to c4. With king to c4, we are getting to move to one of the key squares on our next turn. And here, what should black play? Black maybe can stop us from moving to d5, moving to c5 by playing king to d6. But we can still move to the third key square here in this position, which is the square on b5. And by moving to b5, we know that we can win this, but of course we have to continue properly. So we can just do this in a fast way, because we have explained this in many videos, and you can see the concept of the key squares in many videos that we have recorded. So we can go over this in a very fast way. Let's say black is playing king to c7 to show some resistance, okay, because otherwise if black stays on the side, it's really not resisting, and we can just push our pawn and it's going to be easier for us. So let's say the black king is moving to c7. Okay, since we know about the opposition and we want to do that, here is the time to do that. We definitely take the opposition. Going back, if we push our pawn, we should know that now the key squares are being moved ahead, and if black takes the opposition, we will again not be able to occupy any of the key squares anymore, because anytime we move, black is also moving with us, and we will never be able to get the opposition. So going back, we're definitely not pushing the pawn here, but taking the opposition. The reason is this: when the black king has to move away from the opposition, we will move to the square b6. This is called outflanking. And how does this help me? This helps me in which way? That this square is one of the key squares of my passed pawn when my passed pawn pushes forward. So it's like I'm guaranteeing that my pawn will be able to push forward, and I'm keeping my chances to win when I occupy the b6 square. So here again, if the black king stays on the side, it's not good, because we can just push our pawn, and that's not really resisting much. And what if the king moves to the square c8, and again we can take the opposition. And here, this position where our king has reached the 6th rank, right in front, right ahead of our pawn, so this is always winning for white. We also saw this in many videos, that this position we can keep in mind when our king has reached 6th rank in front of our pawn, our passed pawn. It's always winning, and it really doesn't matter in this position whose turn it is. This is the perfect position that's always winning. In this case, it's black's turn. Black is moving away, and we guarantee that our pawn is promoting without any trouble if we move our king to d7 and then just push our pawn. And definitely with an extra queen, we will be able to checkmate in this position. So going back to to the original position. Let's see, let's go back to the main position. What did we do here? We just made sure that we are trading all the major pieces off the chessboard, and then we also made sure that the endgame that we're reaching, we're able to win. I wouldn't do all this if I wasn't sure that my king is going to be able to make it after this to one of the key squares and win this endgame. Maybe I would try to play in a different way. But here, I know that this endgame is winning. That's why studying endgames is very important, because let's say knowing some positions from before, you can try to simplify your game and try to reach those endgames that are familiar to you and that you know that they are good for you to reach, and it's going to be winning for you.